You know what we get a lot of in movies and TV? People cheating. I mean, that happens a lot in real life as well, but I want to see more people being faithful. There was one such instance where I was in a movie theater and a scene was playing out. I'm like, oh, he's going to cheat on his wife, blah, 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 because men can't control themselves when women come onto them, blah, blah, blah. And it went differently. As I was saying, okay, now I know there's a lot of stereotypes about women in movies that drive women that I know, it drives them crazy. Like all these stereotypes of women. Let me tell you a stereotype about men that I cannot stand, is that men have no self-control. Even worse, men buy into it. Men use this idea, I'm just a man, as an excuse for doing all sorts of terrible stuff and breaking hearts. There's a great, well, it's not a great song. It's a catchy song. The lyrics are kind of terrible. It's called What You Say by Jason Derulo. And in that song, he says, I was so wrong for so long, only trying to please myself. Girl, I was caught up in her lust when I don't really want no one else. That's probably terrible. I was caught up in her lust. If you actually listen to the whole song all the way through, it's super catchy. But what a terrible idea. I was caught up in her lust. That suggests, hey, I know I'm in a relationship with you. And like that's what the song goes on to say. I should have treated you better. You and me were meant to last forever. And so he's like, take me back even though I did this. And it just blows my mind because the whole idea is, well, I know we're in a committed relationship, but she threw herself at me and I'm just a man. I'm just doing what men do. What was I supposed to say? No? Oh, that is what I was supposed to say. Oh, okay, cool. All right, so saying no is something men are capable of doing. In the movie Big Fish, Ewan McGregor plays a traveling salesman who's happily married, and he comes across this small town that he knew in his youth. And one of his childhood best friends, she is now, I can't remember if she's divorced or widowed, but she was married and then her life fell apart and her house is falling apart. And so he stays to help fix up her house with the tools that he's selling. And he thinks it's just this great friendship. And when he finishes the house and it's time for him to hit the road again, this is what happens. Get out of there, man. Oh, she's making those bedroom eyes. He doesn't even see it.
Well?
You could leave it there.
You could stay. And here I am in the theater. I'm like, oh gosh, another man can't control himself. This beautiful love story with him and his wife is going to be ruined now. And I was rolling my eyes and I was like, this movie's about to be ruined for me. And then...
No.
Oh.
Now, don't be embarrassed. I should never have let you think that. I'm in love with my wife.
Yeah, I know.
And from the first day I saw her till the day I die, she's the only one.
Lucky girl.
So there's me in the theater, and here's something you have to know. I'm kind of known as the movie Nazi. Like the soup Nazi on Seinfeld, where he's like, no soup for you. In the movie theater, I will shush people. I will tell them, hey, I paid $8 to watch the movie, not to hear your commentary. I will tell people that I'm going to get them kicked out. I've almost had a couple of parking lot encounters over this. It may not be my finest trait, but I'm somebody who reveres the sanctuary of the movie theater. And when this happened, I literally stood up and I went, yeah! And then I'm like, sorry, and sat down. Because you almost never see it. Now, this speaks to a great truth. You always have the power and the self-control to choose. Now, you might say he shouldn't have been there in the first place, spending all this time with her. You know, he kind of led her on, let her think some things. Valid. That's valid. But the fact is, he said no. Now, I want to talk about how to stay faithful to your spouse. Because odds are, you're going to have some temptations. You may have other opportunities. You may have people that you feel listen to you better, understand you more. You may not feel especially wanted, loved, attractive at home. You may feel rejected. The fact is, whether you're faithful or not depends on your integrity. So, you work on your relationship. Couples counseling. There's great books, podcasts, YouTube channels. But in most cases where it's serious enough, you need to get a trained counselor who can help you through things so that you can reconnect. What's more is, if the relationship isn't going to work, it's better to be done and then move on than to move on before it's done, because it comes down to who you are. When it comes to flirtations or when it comes to other friendships or interactions with other people, ask yourself the question, would my partner be okay with how we're interacting and how we're talking to each other if they were watching us or if they were reading what we were writing? If they saw this, would they be okay? If there's anything you feel you need to keep a secret from your partner, you're crossing some lines. And take it from millions of people before you, it is a slippery slope from there. We can stay faithful, both men and women. Is monogamy natural? No. What? I actually don't think it is. Stay with me for a second. I don't think it's natural. I think the natural thing is we're attracted to a lot of people, to be with a lot of people. That's the natural drive. But just because something is natural doesn't mean it's the best thing for us or it's moral. If someone insults me, it's natural for me to punch them in the face. If I want something from a store and I can't afford it, it's natural for me to want to steal it. Natural doesn't mean moral. Natural doesn't mean highest and best life. And monogamy, or being in a healthy committed relationship, or if we have polyamorous people joining us today, there are similar rules. You draw boundaries. There's still trust. We have this contract. This is how this operates. Trust is everything in a relationship, and you can stay faithful if you lock your heart. If someone tries to flirt with you, instead of thinking, oh, that's nice and it's harmless, shut it down, and shut it down hard. I've actually done that before, and it's kind of awesome. I felt really good. Someone told me in therapy that I was very handsome, and I said, we're not going to go there. And they said, what? I can't pay you a compliment? And I said, you can tell me I'm a good therapist, but we actually have a relationship. We see each other every week, and you calling me handsome takes us a step into a place that could be harmless, but it's not an area I'm ever looking to explore. And I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that you didn't mean anything by it, but I'm just drawing my boundary because this is how I live my life. Draw your boundaries. Know what your boundaries are. Know what you and your partner are comfortable with. And if there's ever a time that you're feeling tempted, talk to your partner about how to be closer, because that is the best cure. I'm Jonathan Decker, the movie therapist. Be sure to check out our latest episode on The Incredibles and vulnerability. If you like what I'm doing here, go ahead and share this with your friends, spread it around. Tell everyone about Mended Light. We are here to help you fix the light that sometimes feels broken inside of you through trauma, through hardship, through temptation. If you have ideas for other movies you'd like for me to cover here, go ahead and sound off in the comments. Other moments that you'd like for me to highlight, I'd love to address them. And how to stay faithful to your partner. Your thoughts, ideas, questions, all down below. I'm Jonathan Decker, the movie therapist, here for Mended Light, and we'll see you next time.